Hi, and welcome to this course on building your WooCommerce store. We'll guide you through the key steps of getting your online store set up and launched. But first things first, I have used WordPress.com as my hosting company, so make sure you have created a WordPress.com account if you haven't done so already. In this first lesson, we are going to lay the foundation for your online store. And once you have the basics set up, your site will be ready for the more hands-on parts of building your store. WooCommerce is a free plugin that transforms your site into a fully functional online store. It allows you to sell physical products, digital downloads, services, and more, all while managing payments, shipping, taxes, and orders from one dashboard. You don't need to understand every Woo setting right away. WooCommerce is designed to grow with you. You can start with a simple setup and gradually add more features as your confidence and needs increase. With any WordPress.com paid plan, you can install plugins and start selling directly on your site. Did you know we have a dedicated commerce plan available? The commerce plan includes premium extensions pre-installed, plus marketing tools and Google Ads integration. You can explore this option if it sounds like a good fit for your store. But now let's move on to the first step. When you get started, it helps to choose a store theme. To add a store theme, go to Appearance and click Themes. Or if you are using WP Admin to manage your site, you can go to Appearance and click Theme Showcase. Then click the Store tab. A store theme is a WordPress theme specifically designed for online stores and e-commerce sites. These themes come with built-in layouts optimized for displaying products, shopping carts, checkout pages, and other WooCommerce features. When you open a theme, you can click Preview Demo Site to see what your site could look like and how products are displayed. For the demonstration of this course, we will use the Avatar theme. Let's go ahead and open the theme and then click Activate to activate the theme on our site. For even more themes and options, check out the WooCommerce website. So now, take some time to select and activate a theme on your site. Don't worry about being locked into a design. You can always customize your theme later or even change it to a new theme without losing any of your work. The next step is to install and activate the Woo plugin. So head over to Plugins. At the top, search for Woo, open the plugin, and click Install and Activate. If the plugin is not under Active, go to All, scroll down to Woo, and activate it on your site. Once WooCommerce is activated, you will notice new store-related options in your left sidebar. When you hover over WooCommerce, you will see a variety of options, and below that, you'll see products, payments, analytics, and marketing. But when you get started and click WooCommerce, Woo will also guide you through a short setup flow. This is intentional and helpful. You can click Set up my store or skip guided setup. Then you can follow the prompts and add the relevant information. At the end of the setup flow, Woo may present a few options that appear to be features or add-ons. For this lesson, it's helpful to think of these as simple checkboxes. You are not configuring them in depth right now. You are just enabling them so your store is ready when you need them. Enabling these doesn't lock you into anything. It gives you access to helpful tools that you can choose to use as your store grows. For example, you will see the option to get paid with Woo Payments. This allows you to accept card payments directly on your site. At this stage, you're only enabling the option. You don't need to complete the full payment setup yet. We'll walk through payments in detail in a later lesson. Another option you may see is to allow customers to pay with PayPal. Then you will see other options to get automated tax rates, reach ready-to-buy shoppers on Reddit, showcase your products with Pinterest, or even drive sales with Google for WooCommerce. So now go ahead and select the free add-on features you may want to use later. Click Continue when you are done. One of your most important early steps is setting your store location. Woo uses this to determine your currency as well as your taxes and shipping rates. In the setup flow, you would have selected the location of your store, but let's add some more details. Go to Settings and add your store address. My store is in New York, and when you scroll down, we will see that the currency is also in US dollar. And then you can save your changes. Now that your store foundation is in place, it's time to add products. This is where your store comes to life. In this lesson, we'll walk you through adding your first products, including simple products and products with variations. And we'll also touch on virtual and downloadable products. When you get started and click WooCommerce, you can follow the setup guide provided. You'll notice the first step is add products. But you can also make your way to products by clicking products in the left sidebar, and then you will see a screen asking what product do you want to add. A physical product or simple product is a tangible item that gets delivered to customers. A variable product is a product with variations like color or size. And then a group product is a collection of related products. Then you can click View More Product Types to see additional options. This is where you'll find virtual and downloadable products, which we'll cover shortly. For this lesson, let's start by adding simple product to create a simple item. A simple product is a standalone item with no options, like a book, a candle, or a poster. What you see is what you get, and this is also the default product type. So let's go ahead and click Physical Product, and then you will be guided with some helpful prompts. Add the product name. In this case, I'm selling a leather bag, followed by a product description. Then you can add the price. Regular price is the standard price customers pay, and sale price is optional. Use it if you are running a promotion or special offer on this product. You can enter prices including or excluding tax, but don't worry about that for now. We'll cover tax settings in detail in a later lesson. After entering the price, we can add a short description. The short description is a brief summary that appears next to the product image on the product page, typically near the price and the Add to Cart button. Next, you can add a product image. You can upload one from your computer or your media library. I think you will agree a great product image can make all the difference. Use clear, high-quality images that accurately represent your product. We recommend using image dimensions of at least 800 by 800 pixels. And remember, images is a key tool in selling and promoting your products and services online. After adding the relevant images, we move on to tags and categories. Let's start with tags. Tags are keywords that describe specific characteristics of a product. They work across categories and help customers find products with shared features. You can add tags with commas in between. A leather bag might have tags like genuine leather, rustic, handmade, laptop friendly, and gift for him. Then we move on to categories. Categories, on the other hand, help organize products into logical groups, making it easier for customers to browse your store. Think of categories like departments in a physical shop. Categories for our product could be bags, travel bags, accessories, or even men's. Customers will then be able to click on a category to see all the products within that group. Take a moment to create and assign a product to a relevant category and add descriptive tags. And then, finally, you'll see an option to publish or to keep editing. We'll continue editing and then navigate to the Inventory tab to manage our product stock. Enter a SKU or stock keeping unit, which is a unique identifier for the product and useful for tracking. You can keep it simple. In this case, I will say LB for leather bag 001. But you can, for example, even follow a pattern such as category, style, size, and color. Then you can enable stock management. I, for example, have 50 leather bags in stock. And below that, you can allow or disallow back orders, and then set the low stock threshold, which I will set to 4. And at the bottom, you can also limit purchases to 1 item per order. Next, click the Shipping tab to enter the product's weight and dimensions. This information helps calculate accurate shipping rates for your customers. You may also see an option for shipping classes. We'll cover this in a later lesson when we dive deeper into shipping configuration. For now, you can leave it as no shipping class. You'll also notice tabs for linked products and advanced. These offer useful features like upsells, cross-sells, and purchase notes, but they are not essential for getting started, so feel free to explore them later as your store grows. Once everything looks good, click Publish. And congratulations, your first product is live. But don't worry, nobody will be able to see it until you launch your site. You can now take a moment to add all your products to your store. Next, let's discuss variable products. A variable product has options for customers to choose from, like a t-shirt in different colors and sizes. And you create these options by using attributes. And each combination, like medium red or small blue, becomes a variation that customers can select and purchase. So let's make our way to products. And then we will see the product we already added. And then click Add New Product. The first step is to scroll down to Product Data and change Simple Product to Variable Product. Then you'll see a message that says Start by adding attributes, and we'll get to that in just a sec. But for now, let's add the name of the product, followed by the relevant images. The main product image could show the bottle in your most popular color, and below Product Gallery, you can add more images. Now we can make our way to attributes. Attributes are the options customers will choose from. For our bottle, we need two attributes, size and color. So let's go ahead and click Add New. And now we can enter the name of the attribute, namely size, and the values, separated by a line break. In this example, we'll stick to small and large. Then we can add the second attribute, color, and the values green and pink. And then save. Now that our attributes are set, it's time to create the variations, each unique combination a customer can purchase. Go to the Variations section and click Generate Variations. WooCommerce will automatically create all possible combinations. For our bottles, this creates 4 variations: small green, small pink, large green, and large pink. When you click Edit next to a variation, you'll be able to update its details. You can add a stock keeping unit, as well as the price. You can also upload a specific image showing that item when a customer selects it. And once you've added all the info, remember to save your changes. And when your variable product is ready, go ahead and publish. And now customers will be able to choose between size and color. Lastly, if you are selling digital products like an ebook, online course, or printable, you can use 2 important checkboxes, virtual and downloadable. So let's open one of the products I've already created, which is a canvas of a giraffe. And when you scroll down next to product data, you will see 2 checkboxes, virtual and downloadable. Virtual means the product does not require shipping. When you check this box, shipping options disappear from the product settings. And downloadable means the customer receives a file after purchase. You can upload the file, set download limits, or even expiry dates. Digital products usually need to be set as both virtual and downloadable. It's a common mistake to only check one. If you forget to mark digital products as virtual, WooCommerce will still display shipping options, which doesn't make sense for PDFs or, for example, MP3s. Services like consultations or appointments only need virtual. Now you're ready to add the type of products you want to sell on your site. Please take some time to add at least a few products before moving on. In this lesson, we'll set up payments so your store can accept money. We'll walk through WooPayments, how to add other payment options, and how to prevent fraud. But before jumping in, let's clarify 2 terms you'll often see. A payment processor is the company that moves money from your customer's account to yours. It's the behind-the-scenes engine. A payment method, on the other hand, is how the customers choose to pay, such as a credit card, debit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay, etc. In other words, the processor handles the transaction and the customer chooses how they want to pay. WooPayments combines both, acting as a processor and allowing multiple payment methods in one setup. When you make your way to WooCommerce, you can follow the short setup flow and click Get Paid, or head to Settings and click Payments. At the top, you will see WooPayments. If you are not seeing WooPayments as an option, or you're based somewhere it's not available, don't worry, you're not stuck. You can also choose from other payment options like PayPal, Amazon Pay, Molly, and many others, depending on where you live. These work just as well. But to get started, let's first look at using WooPayments. Click Install or Complete Setup if you have already enabled this extension when you installed the WooCommerce plugin. WooPayments is built directly into Woo and is powered by Stripe. It lets you accept debit and credit cards, as well as other popular options such as Apple Pay, Google Pay, and other local payment methods, all in one place. Once you are connected with WordPress.com, set up and verified, you can choose which payment methods to enable. At a minimum, it's recommended to turn on credit and debit cards. If you expect mobile shoppers, Apple Pay and Google Pay are also worth enabling for faster checkout. Once you are ready, click Continue. Before going live, it's important to confirm that payments work correctly. WooPayments include a test mode that lets you run through checkout with fake card numbers with no real money involved. So for now, click Test Payments to run on test mode. And then we will take a closer look at making test orders in one of the later lessons. But if you don't want to be in test mode, click Start Accepting Payments. Fill out important information about your business and click Continue. Then you will see a message that says WooPayments partners with Stripe to help you receive payments and keep your personal bank and details secure. So let's go ahead and click Add Information. And then log into your Stripe account or create a new account. Once it is set up, it will automatically return you to the setup screen and ask you to provide more information about your business. Then you will need to verify your personal details, followed by connecting your site to a valid bank account to receive payments, and then submit it for verification. Once verified, your WooPayments is fully active and customers can pay with real cards. WooPayments covers most use cases, but what if you want to offer additional payment options? Back in the Payments tab, you will see alternatives like PayPal or regional options, depending on where you sell. Click More Payment Options to see alternatives. So go ahead and install PayPal or any other methods that work best for you. Fraud is something many new store owners don't really think about at first, but small stores are often targeted because they are less likely to have protections in place. A good way to approach fraud prevention is to build it in layers. The first layer is your payment gateway itself. If you are using WooPayments, you already have built-in fraud screening that automatically blocks many risky transactions. If you go to WooPayments, click Manage. From the top, you will see all the payment methods you have added. But when you scroll to the bottom, you will see Fraud Protection. You will see two options, Basic or Advanced. Basic provides a base level of protection by using Stripe's built-in fraud detection to block orders that fail card verification. And Advanced allows you to fine-tune the level of filtering according to your business needs. We won't be covering these settings in this course, but it's helpful to know where to find them if you decide to use them later. A second layer of protection is adding a captcha to your checkout page. Captcha helps to confirm that a real person is making the order and not an automated bot. WooCommerce does not include this by default, so you will need to add it. When you go to the WooCommerce site, you can search for extensions such as reCAPTCHA integration or Google reCAPTCHA, but please note these come at a cost. Or you can use a free plugin from the plugin library. So let's make our way to plugins and click Add Plugin, and then search for reCAPTCHA for WooCommerce. We'll select the one by Rely WP, and then you can install and activate the plugin. To set it up, you need a site key and a secret key. And to get that, you need to make your way to google.com/reCAPTCHA/admin. For the label, you can add your store name, And for the reCAPTCHA type, we are going to select version 2, which is the checkbox to say I am not a robot. And then finally, add your domain name without the www or https. And then click submit. And now you can go ahead and copy and paste your site key as well as your secret key. Once you have added these, you can scroll down to WooCommerce Forms and select WooCommerce Checkout. And then save your changes. And once you test your response, you are good to go. Now customers will first need to check the box I am not a robot to complete their checkout. In this lesson, we will look at how to set up tax for your store. Tax is an important part of running an online business, and WooCommerce provides the tools you need to manage it effectively. For most stores, you only need to configure a few key settings, and we'll walk through those step by step. Before we begin, it's important to note that we are not tax professionals, and this lesson isn't tax advice. What we are covering is how to configure your WooCommerce tax settings. For guidance on what you are legally required to collect, you should always consult a qualified tax professional or your local tax authority. The first step is to make sure taxes are enabled in your store. So go to WooCommerce and then Settings. Below the General tab, scroll down and check the option to enable tax rates and calculations. And then save your changes. Then you will see a new tab appear in the settings, which is where most of this lesson takes place. Before adjusting specific settings, you will need to decide whether you want to add your tax manually or use automated tax calculations. Manual setup means that you add your own tax rates. This could be a single rate for an entire country or different rates for different states or different regions. This works well if you sell in a single region, your tax situation is simple, and you want full control. The downside is that managing multiple rates across locations can become time-consuming and risky if rates change. Automated tax calculation requires the WooCommerce tax plugin, which calculates the correct tax rate automatically based on the customer's address. This is especially helpful if you sell across multiple regions or deal with complex or changing tax rules. It is important to highlight that the plugin is free and it's available in many countries, including the US, Canada, the UK, the EU, and Australia. Before we take a closer look at the two options, we want to discuss three settings that shape almost everything. So make your way to the Tax tab. The first setting is Prices Entered with Tax. This setting controls how you enter prices when creating products. If prices are entered inclusive of tax, the number you type already includes tax. If prices are entered exclusive of tax, tax is added on top at checkout. The next setting is Calculate Tax Based On. This setting tells WooCommerce which address to use when calculating tax. You can base tax on the customer shipping address, billing address, or your shop's base address. For most physical products, the shipping address is the best choice. For services or digital products, the billing address often makes more sense. If you are unsure which is legally correct, this is another good moment to check with a tax expert. The next setting is how you display prices in the shop and checkout. These settings control what customers actually see. If you entered prices inclusive of tax, you'll usually want to display them inclusive of tax as well. If you entered prices exclusive of tax, display them exclusive and show tax as a separate line at checkout. So the key is consistency. And remember to save any changes. Now let's look at the first option, using automated taxes with WooCommerce Tax. When we return to the setup flow, you'll see an option to collect sales tax. If you choose automated taxes, you can select WooCommerce Tax or Stripe Tax, or you can set up taxes manually. But in this first example, we are going to select WooCommerce Tax and install and enable the plugin. It's important to understand that automated tax collection does not mean you have to collect tax everywhere. You only collect tax where you are legally required to do so. For many sellers, this starts with their country or home state. In most countries like the UK, EU countries, Australia and Canada, there's a national tax system. If you are registered for VAT or GST, you charge it all on your domestic orders. But in the US, you usually start out with tax obligations only in your home state. That means you charge tax to customers in your home state, but you typically don't charge to customers in other states unless you've registered there or met specific requirements. When you are getting started, the important takeaway is this: selling nationwide is normal, but you usually only collect tax where you are legally required to do so. If you are unsure, a tax professional can help you determine exactly where that applies. With WooCommerce Tax enabled, tax is calculated automatically based on the customer's location. However, there's one important thing to know. Enabling automated taxes will set your store to display prices excluding tax. This means customers see the base price on product pages, and then tax is added as a separate line at checkout. In this example, my store is based in New York, and somebody from New York is buying a product. If automated taxes are not available in your country, or you prefer more control, you can set up tax rates manually. To do this, go to WooCommerce, click Settings, and then open the Tax tab. Now, in this first example, we are going to set a tax rate for a store in the UK. The first thing we'll do is select Yes, I will enter prices inclusive of tax, and then also update how prices are displayed in the shop, in your cart, and during checkout. In this example, they will all be inclusive of tax. And then save your changes. Next, we can make our way to the Standard Rates tab. Under the Standard Rates tab, you'll see a table where each row represents a tax rule. Most stores only need standard rates. To add a new rate, click Insert Row. And in this example, below country code, we'll add GB for Great Britain and leave state code, postcode, and city empty. Then enter 20.0000 in the rate column for 20%. Type VAT in the tax name column. Leave priority 1 and compound unchecked. And check the shipping checkbox if shipping should be taxed as well. And then save your changes. And now, when somebody from the UK buys a product from my store, they will see the price inclusive of VAT. But if a customer from the Netherlands, for example, buys the product, they will see the total price exclusive of VAT. For an example from the United States, imagine your store is based in Texas. You have entered prices exclusive of tax, and you are registered to collect Texas sales tax at 6.25%. So to set up the tax rate manually, go to Standard Rates, click Insert Row, and then below country code, add US for United States. Below state code, add TX for Texas. And then we can leave postcode and city empty. And below rate, we can add 6.2500 for 6.25%. And below tax name, write sales tax. And then we can leave priority at 1, compound unchecked, and shipping checked if Texas requires tax on shipping costs. And then save changes. This will ensure that tax is only charged to customers in Texas. Customers in other states won't be charged unless you add additional rules. If you need to collect tax in more locations at a later stage, you add more rows. WooCommerce will apply the correct rate automatically based on the customer's address. No matter which approach you choose, always test before launching. Add a product to your cart and go through checkout using addresses where tax should apply and where it shouldn't. Check that tax appears when expected, that the tax rate looks correct, and that prices display the way you intend. You've now enabled taxes, chosen between manual and automated taxes, configured the most important settings, and tested everything to make sure it works. So as you have seen, WooCommerce handles the math, but you are responsible for knowing what you need to collect and where. The good news is that once tax is set up correctly, you really need to change it. Now that your store can collect tax, the next step is to ensure that your products can reach your customers. In this lesson, we will learn how to set up shipping. WooCommerce uses three main concepts to manage shipping: shipping zones, shipping methods, and shipping classes. Let's break it down. Shipping zones define where you ship to. A shipping zone is a geographical area to which you ship items. Shipping zones can be as specific as you need. You can set them to specific postal zip codes, specific regions, or entire countries. Next, shipping methods determine how much you charge within a zone. These are the options customers see at checkout, such as flat rate shipping, free shipping, or local pickup. And then thirdly, shipping classes are optional categories for products that cost more to ship. If you sell items with very different shipping requirements, such as heavy or oversized products, shipping classes allow you to charge different rates. A helpful way to remember this is zone means where, method means how much, and class means which products. Before configuring anything in WooCommerce, it helps to think through your shipping plan. Consider where you want to ship, only within your country, to specific regions, or worldwide. Think about the options you want to offer, such as live shipping rates, a single flat rate, free shipping over a certain amount, or local pickup. You don't need the perfect answers right away because settings can be adjusted later, but having a rough plan makes setup smoother. Let's start by creating your shipping zones. As mentioned, shipping zones define the destinations you ship to. To create them, go to WooCommerce, click Settings, and then open the Shipping tab. When you are ready, click Add Zone. Give the zone a clear name based on the locations, such as United States or Brazil. Then select the regions that belong to that zone. In this example, I will search and select the United States. Now, once a zone is created, it won't work until you add shipping methods to it. A shipping zone without methods won't allow customers to check out. So let's move on to adding shipping methods to a zone. Click Add Shipping Method. You will see several options. The most common ones are flat rate, which is a fixed shipping price, simple and predictable, and free shipping, which has no charge. It's usually with conditions like a minimum order amount. And local pickup is when customers collect the order themselves with no shipping needed. We will discuss live shipping rates in just a moment. So let's go ahead and add a flat rate. In my case, shipping is taxable, so I will leave it as is. And then I will add a flat rate of $8 for shipping. And then click Create and Save. This means every order in this zone pays $8 for shipping, regardless of what's in the cart. But what happens if you add multiple zones? Let's go ahead and add another zone. In this case, the state I am in, namely Texas. And then I will also select the specific region. Once added, we can add a shipping method for this zone. I will select a flat rate again, but this time only make it $6. When you have more than one shipping zone, it's important to note that shipping zones are checked from top to bottom. So make sure more specific zones, like a state or region, are listed above broader ones, like a country. So in this example, we need to drag and drop Texas to the top. The majority of new stores start with one country zone and a flat rate because it's simple. But as you learn how much your shipping actually costs over time, you can refine them. But what if you want to offer free shipping for larger orders? Let me show you how. Let's edit the United States zone. Add another shipping method. And in this instance, we'll select free shipping. And then below free shipping requires, you will see a few options and we'll select a minimum order amount. And we can set that to $100. And then click Create and Save. And now customers in this zone won't be charged for shipping if they spend more than $100. What happens to a customer in a country you haven't added to any zone? They'll see no shipping option at checkout and they won't be able to complete their order. So if you want to sell internationally, you can create separate zones for specific countries, or use the built-in rest of the world zone. This is your catch-all for any regions you haven't specifically defined. To add this zone, click Edit, and then Add Shipping Method. In this case, we are going to add a flat rate and set an amount of $30 for international shipping costs. This way, customers outside your main regions will always see a shipping option at checkout. Please remember that these prices used in the course is only an example. Once you're done, click Create and Save. And when we return to our shipping zones, we can see all our zones from top to bottom. But as mentioned, you may only need one shipping zone if you are only selling within your country and want a flat rate to be applied across all deliveries. So far, we've charged the same shipping rate for all products. But what if some products cost more to ship, like heavy or oversized items? That's where shipping classes come in. So once your zones are in place, go ahead and click Classes at the top. Shipping classes are categories you create to group products by shipping needs. For example, heavy for items that weigh a lot, oversized for items that are large or bulky, and fragile for items that need special handling. Most stores only need one or two classes, or none at all if your products are similar in size and weight. Let's create a class for heavy items. Click Add Shipping Class, and then enter a name, like Heavy Items. The slug can be left blank and auto-generated, or you can enter one. The slug is a short, computer-friendly label made from the name. It uses lowercase letters and hyphens and helps WooCommerce identify the shipping class behind the scenes. And then you can also add a description if you like. And once you are finished, click Create. Now, here's the important part. Shipping classes don't charge anything on their own. You set the prices inside your shipping methods. So once you have set up your shipping class, you can return to shipping zones. And in this case, let's edit the United States shipping zone. And then edit your flat rate method. Below shipping class costs, you can set different prices for each class. For example, a heavy items class at $15. And for products with no shipping class, it can remain $8, the regular price for shipping. And below calculation type, there's also an option for orders with mixed classes. Charging the highest rate is usually the most straightforward choice. The customer will only pay for the most expensive shipping class. And when you're done, click Save. The final step is assigning the shipping class to your products. From your dashboard, go to Products, find a product that needs the class, in this case a kettlebell that I'm selling. Scroll down to Product Data and click the Shipping tab. You'll see a drop-down for Shipping class. Select Heavy Items or whichever class applies, and then update the product. Please note any product without a class assigned uses your default no class rate. So only assign classes to products that need special pricing. But you might be wondering, what if I want live shipping rates instead? If you want to show customers live shipping rates from carriers like UPS, FedEx, or others at checkout, you will need an extension. Please note these plugins usually come with an annual subscription fee. To find one, go to Plugins and search for your carrier. For example, UPS or FedEx. In this example, we will install the WooCommerce UPS shipping method. I did want to mention you can explore some free options as well, but we will be using the one by Automatic. So open the plugin and click Purchase and Activate. Once you have gone through checkout and activated the plugin, we can return to WooCommerce, click Settings, and make our way to Shipping. You will see a new option, namely UPS, and then we can go ahead and open it. Next, you need to connect your UPS account, and you will notice there is a link to the official setup guide. So once you've added all your UPS account details, we can return to Shipping Zones, and then edit the relevant shipping zone, in this case, United States. You won't see any shipping methods yet, as we are going to use live shipping rates. So to add that, let's click Add Shipping Method, and then select UPS from the list and click Continue. And then your new shipping method is applied. Once added, click Edit again and make sure that all your information and settings are correct. And now shipping rates will be calculated automatically. Before you launch, test your shipping setup. Add products to your cart and go to checkout to see that everything works as expected. To view your site, click on the site title, top left, and then from there, visit your shop page. Add items to your cart. Then you can view your cart, go through checkout, and make sure everything is correct. Fix any issues now before real customers find them. Once an order comes in, it's time to fulfill it and get the product to the customer. Here's what that typically looks like. Once an order has been placed, you will receive an order notification. Check your email or WooCommerce dashboard. From your dashboard, go to WooCommerce and click Orders. And then open the relevant order. Then you need to pick the products, pack them securely, and create a shipping label, either through your carrier's website or a shipping app, or a service like EasyShip or WooCommerce Shipping. As an example, we will use the WooCommerce Shipping extension. So let's make our way to plugins and add a new plugin. Search for WooCommerce Shipping and install and activate the plugin. Once the plugin is activated, we can return to WooCommerce, click Settings, and make our way to Shipping. And then you will see a new option, namely WooCommerce Shipping. This is where you can set your label preferences. Once the plugin is activated and you've set your preferences, we can return to the order. You will see a new shipping label option. Let's go ahead and click Create Shipping Labels. WooCommerce Shipping lets you print labels directly from your dashboard. No need to visit the post office. Once the label has been printed and you are finished with everything, you can return to the order and mark it as complete. Once the order has been completed, it will trigger a confirmation email to the customer. And optionally, provide tracking. Customers love knowing where their package is. Shipping can always be refined as you learn more about your customers and costs. But for now, your site is ready to ship. In this lesson, we'll look at how WooCommerce sets up the core pages of your store and how they support the customer journey. We'll also explore how products are displayed and briefly look at customizing your header and footer. WooCommerce automatically creates 5 key pages for your store: Shop, Cart, Checkout, Refund and Returns, and My Account, each guiding customers through the buying journey. From your dashboard, make your way to Pages. And the first page we are going to discuss is the Shop page. And don't worry if your shop page is empty when you open it. This is to be expected and will remain empty. But once you add your products, you can preview your shop page, and then you will notice that products appear dynamically on the live site. Depending on your theme, products are displayed in a grid, and customers can sort by price, popularity, or rating. We'll take a closer look at the shop page and displaying products in just a moment. The second page that gets added is the cart page. The cart page lets customers review items, update quantities, and view totals. And of course, we don't need to edit this page at all. And customers can open their cart by clicking the cart icon top right and then clicking View My Cart. The next page that is added is the checkout page. The checkout page collects billing, shipping, and payment details to complete the order. This is also a page you don't need to edit. The default checkout is fully functional from the start. Another important page that is added is the refund and returns policy page. This page has sample text to get you started. And once you have customized and published this page, you can add it to your footer for easy access. But we will look at headers and footers later in the lesson. The final page is the My Account page. On this page, you will only see a shortcode block. But if a customer visits their My Account page, they will be able to access their orders, shipping info, and account settings. Next, Let's discuss presenting or displaying our products. Even though Woo automatically creates a shop page, you have plenty control over how products are displayed. This is where product blocks come in. Woo includes a set of blocks you can add to any page or post. Let's look at the most useful ones and how to use them. To change how products are displayed on your shop page, you need to edit the product catalog template, not the shop page itself. Remember, the shop page is just a placeholder. The template controls what actually shows up. To get there, go to Appearance and click Editor. Make your way to Templates, scroll down, and open the Product Catalog template. Open the list view top left to see all the blocks on your page, and search for the Product Collection block. This is one of the most versatile blocks in WooCommerce. It displays a grid of products based on the criteria you set. For example, when you click Choose Collection, you can show featured products, items on sale, or products from a specific category. And when you open the sidebar settings on the right, you'll also find options to tweak the layout. For example, increasing or decreasing the amount of columns. You can leave your product catalog as is or add other blocks to the template. Let's look at a few other blocks you can add here or on other pages of your site. In the first example, I want to add a section to my homepage showing all the products on sale. So let's make our way to Appearance and click Editor and then open our homepage. Firstly, I'll open my list view top left and then select the section at the top. Click the 3 vertical dots and click Add After. Then we can use the shortcut and type / on sale products and insert the block. Then we can open the sidebar settings on the right, and in this case I'm going to change the amount of columns to 3. You can also change how many products you want to be displayed per page, but at this stage I only have 3 products on sale. Once you save your changes, you can preview your homepage, and then you will see all your products on sale. In the next example, I want to add a section of my new arrivals on my shop page. Now, as mentioned, if you want to customize the shop page, you need to edit the product catalog template. So from your dashboard, make your way to Appearance and click Editor. Make your way to Templates and open the product catalog template. Once again, I'll open the list view and then select the Store Notices block. Click the 3 vertical dots and select Add After, followed by adding the Product Collection block. When you type Product Collection, you will see all the available blocks. I will go ahead and choose New Arrivals. I'll use the block toolbar to change the alignment to wide width, and in the sidebar settings on the right, I'll change the products per page to 3 as well as the columns. Then we can save our changes and preview our shop page on the front end. Now my new arrivals will show at the top, followed by all my other products. In the last example, I want to show you how to display featured categories. As a reminder, when you create a new product, you can add it to various categories or tags. I'm going to add this product to the lifestyle and accessories category and then update. When we make our way to categories, you will notice I've added 2 categories. And I've added a description as well as a thumbnail. I want to add the featured categories to my homepage, so I'll make my way to Appearance, click Editor, and open the homepage. I'll open the list view, select the On Sale Products block, click the 3 vertical dots and select Add Before. To have categories side by side, I'm going to add a columns block and select 2 equal columns. In the left column, I will add the first featured category block and select one of the available categories. Then I'll select Cover to have the image automatically fit its container. Then we can select the right column and follow the same process. Add the featured category block and select the other category. And choose Cover to let the image fit its container. In this example, I'll also customize the buttons block. I'll change the text to black and the background to white. And then we can do the same for the column on the right. Then we can save our changes and preview our homepage. Shoppers can now browse products by category. This page only displays electronics. Go ahead and experiment with different combinations to create an engaging shopping experience. Next, let's briefly discuss headers and footers. To edit your header and footer, make your way to the site editor. Open your home page as well as the list view, and then select the navigation block. To add a page, click the plus icon and search for the page you've created and want to add, in this case, the contact page. And to remove an item from your navigation menu, select the item, click the 3 vertical dots, and click Delete. If you want to customize your navigation menu further, select the navigation block and click Edit section top right. You will notice there are various header designs you can choose from. Then I'll save my changes and go back to my home page. Next, we can select the footer. This time I will click Edit Section in the block toolbar. Search for a new design. Select the navigation block and open the block settings. Next to menu, click the 3 vertical dots, and you will notice from here you can create a new menu or select one of the existing menus you've created. And in this case, I'm going to select the footer navigation that I've already created, and then add 2 more pages to my footer menu, namely the refund page and the contact page. Once I save, I can return to my home page, and then we'll see that my new header and footer designs are in place. Before launching your site, it's important to test the checkout experience from a customer's perspective. In this lesson, we'll walk through the checkout process, run test transactions, and look at how to manage orders. Since we are using WooPayments, we can leverage its built-in test mode to run test transactions. Other popular payment gateways also offer a test or sandbox mode. If you can't see it in your settings, please reach out to their support for guidance in setting it up. To open the front end of your site, click the site title top left, and from here add 1 or more products to your cart. Open your cart and proceed to checkout. Add your contact information and shipping address, and in this case I also need to tick that I'm not a robot as I added the reCAPTCHA plugin. Next, you can copy and paste the test card number, add any future expiration date, and any 3-digit CVC. Add a fake mobile number and place your order. Now let's click our site title again to return to our dashboard and navigate to orders. This is your central hub for managing all orders. Click on any order to see the full details, what was purchased, the customer's billing and shipping information, and a timeline of order notes showing what's happened. This is where you'll spend a lot of time as orders come in, checking new orders, updating statuses, and handling any issues. Talking about orders, it's important to note that each order has a status showing where it is in the fulfillment process. Let's start with pending payment. Pending payment means your customer started checkout but hasn't paid yet. You don't need to do anything. Just wait for the payment to come through or follow up if it's been a while. Processing means payment was received and you can now fulfill the order. And you can use completed when you have fulfilled and finished the order. On hold is used when an order can't proceed. This is usually a payment that needs to clear, like a bank transfer or any order you flagged for manual review. Check what's needed and release it when you are ready. Lastly, cancelled or refunded indicates either the customer cancelled or you issued a refund. Check the details and follow up with your customer if needed. To change the status, open one of the orders, click the drop-down and select the relevant status. A typical order flow is pending payment, processing, and then completed, after which a customer is notified that their product is on its way. And Woo automatically sends emails throughout key stages of an order. When you make your way to WooCommerce, click Settings and open the Emails tab. You will see a screen showing all the automatic emails your store can send. It's not a list of emails that have already gone out, but rather your settings for which emails are turned on or off. WooCommerce sends these emails automatically whenever certain events happen. For example, when a customer places an order, they automatically receive a processing order email, and you as the store owner receive a new order mail. Or if you issue a refund and click Update, the customer automatically receives a refunded order email. You don't need to send it manually. The blue check mark means that email is turned on and will send automatically. A gray X means it's turned off. The recipients column tells you who receives each email, either you, the store owner, or the customer. If you want to change anything, like turning an email on or off, editing the subject line, or customizing the message, just open the email to manage it. Next, let's talk about refunds. Sometimes orders need to be refunded. A customer changes their mind, a product arrives damaged, or an item is out of stock. But as mentioned before, Woo automatically creates a draft refund and return policy page for you. Once your refund page is in place and you are ready to process a refund, go to WooCommerce, click Orders, and open the order you want to refund. You have two options: automatic refunds or manual refunds. Automatic refunds are sent directly through Woo Payments, and the funds are returned to the customer's original payment method. I have Woo Payments installed, so I'll scroll down, click Refund, select the item I want to refund, and leave out shipping as my store policy states shipping is non-refundable. Then I'll click Refund via Woo Payments. The money will be returned to the customer's card, typically within 5 to 10 business days, depending on their bank. But what about manual refunds? A manual refund records the refund in WooCommerce but doesn't actually send the money. You'll use this when you've already refunded the customer through another system. So if you don't have Woo Payments installed and you've already refunded the customer, we can follow the same process. Scroll down, click Refund, select the product you want to refund, and click Refund manually. Also remember to change the status of your order to Refunded, and click Update when you are done. You've made it to the final lesson. Over the past few lessons, you've learned how to set up payments, taxes, shipping, orders, and refunds. Now it's time for the exciting part: launching your site and opening its virtual doors to the world. Before you flip the switch, check a few things to make sure everything is ready. Let's make our way to WooCommerce and click Settings. When you are here, just quickly review your store details, taxes, and shipping zones. And you'll remember that our payments is actually in test mode. So let's make our way to payments. At the top, you will see it says Test Account. And when you are ready, click Activate Payments. And then add all the necessary details to enable payments for your store. Also, confirm that all your products are added and that everything required has been completed. Also visit the front end of your site to make sure everything is working correctly. Check that links take you to the right place, that products display correctly, and that the order and checkout process flow seamlessly. It is also advised to visit your site on mobile to make sure everything displays correctly on smaller screens. Keep in mind that this course focuses on the commerce side of your site. You will still want to take some time to finalize your site design, things like your header, footer, homepage layouts, and additional pages to make sure your store looks and feels complete before launching. I've completed my homepage as well as my header and footer. You will also notice I've added 2 additional pages, namely an About page and a Contact page. If you need any more help designing your site, please check out our support guides and Create Your Site course. Throughout this course, your site has been in Coming Soon mode. This means only you, signed in as the admin, could see the full site. Visitors to your site saw a Check Back Soon page instead. Now it's time to make your store visible to everyone. From the dashboard, click Launch Site at the top. Or go to Settings, click Reading, and next to Site Visibility, enable Launch Site. Your site is now live. Anyone can visit your site, browse products, or place orders. Take a moment to celebrate. You've just launched an online store. Launching is a milestone, but it's really just the beginning. A successful store requires ongoing attention in a few key areas. Monitor your orders, check your dashboard and emails daily, and respond quickly to any issues. I think you will agree, fast, friendly customer service builds trust and positive reviews. Also, watch your inventory. If you are tracking stock levels, keep an eye on what's selling and reorder before you run out. The most effective way to manage this is to open the product, scroll down to Inventory, enable Stock Management, add the quantity of the product you have in stock, and then set a low stock threshold. If we, for example, change this to 4, we will be notified by email when the stock reaches this amount. And remember to update the product. Did you know you can also review your analytics? WooCommerce has built-in analytics. When you hover over analytics, you will see various options. But let's go ahead and click Overview. From here, you will see performance trends and helpful charts. Understanding what's working helps you make better decisions. Next, pay attention to customer questions and complaints, as they reveal friction points in your store. In this example, I've received a question via my contact form. If multiple people ask the same question, consider updating your product descriptions or add a FAQ page. Finally, iterate and improve. Your store does not have to be perfect on day one. Launch, learn, and grow. Adjust pricing, add new products, refine product descriptions, and optimize based on what you learn. One of WooCommerce's greatest strengths is its extensibility. The core plugin handles the essentials, but hundreds of extensions let you add new features as your needs grow. You can browse available extensions at WooCommerce.com/products. And when you click Extensions, you can search by category. Let's, for example, click the Shipping, Delivery, and Fulfillment category. As discussed in the shipping lesson, with the WooCommerce Shipping plugin, you can create ready-to-print shipping labels for UPS, USPS, and DHL directly in WooCommerce and take advantage of discounted commercial rates. If you ship with multiple carriers and need streamlined fulfillment, try ShipStation. This plugin integrates with your store to manage orders and print labels across carriers in one place. Then, payment extensions add alternative payment methods that customers might prefer. So if you click the Payments category, you will see a variety of options to choose from. But what if you want to make bookings on your site? Let's search for a Bookings plugin and press Enter. These extensions are perfect if you sell appointments, rentals, or services. Customers can book time slots directly on your site and you manage availability from your dashboard. Or maybe you are after product add-ons. This extension lets customers personalize products, adding gift messages, engraving, custom options, or extra features for an additional cost. Once your store is built, the next exciting step is attracting customers and growing your audience. We won't go deep into marketing strategies, but let's explore some tools that can help. For example, Google for WooCommerce connects your store to Google Merchant Center and Google Ads. Your products can appear in Google shopping results, reaching customers actively searching for what you want to sell. And MailChimp for WooCommerce integrates your store with MailChimp for email marketing. You can send abandoned cart emails, product recommendations, and newsletters. Email remains one of the most effective ways to market an online store. And lastly, TikTok for WooCommerce also lets you connect with TikTok's advertising platform. These extensions are optional and might be worth exploring as your business needs change. Just take note, each extension you add is another thing to maintain, so be thoughtful about what you install. Also be reminded that when you go to plugins, you can search for many of these extensions. But if it's not available here and you've downloaded it from the WooCommerce site, you can click Upload top right to do it manually. If you ever need help, WordPress.com support is available directly from your dashboard. Click the Help icon top right, and from here you can explore all our guides. And when you select Get Help, you can engage with our AI assistant or reach out to our support team. It is also helpful to know that WooCommerce documentation covers nearly every feature in detail and is a great first place to search when you have a question. Building an online store is a journey, not a destination. Your store will evolve as you learn more about your customers, experiment with new products, and grow your business. Don't aim for perfection, aim for progress. The best stores are built one small improvement at a time. WooCommerce powers millions of stores worldwide, from solopreneurs to major brands. You are now part of that community. Thank you for following along with this course. I hope it's given you the knowledge and the confidence to build something great. All the best and happy selling.